Here's Sandy, chapter 15, paper round. What's that, son? He answered brusquely. Can I do a paper round? Simon asked sheepishly. Then I'll not need to ask you for money, he added cleverly. What about all the jobs I have saved for you? Alf queried. I can still do them, Simon replied. I'll save you money, Dad, he said. This was bound to do the trick. I hope so, Alf said, or there'll be hell to pay. Simon breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks, Dad, he said, but got no reply. The next day he woke at 5 a.m. and he crept downstairs. He looked through the letterbox and all that he could see was a pile of newspapers, stacked waiting to be delivered. He put on his coat and gloves and stepped out to face the day. It was dark and spooky looking. Simon hated being out in the dark alone, so he had a great idea. Maybe he could kill two birds with one stone. He opened the toilet door and Sandy was all over him, licking his face and hands. No one will see us, he thought. He hooked her to his belt and set off. The lights from the street lamps dazzled on the frosty ground and Sandy's breath hung in the air like a spell. She was panting wildly, but it was obvious that she loved the exercise. The bag weighed a ton and the straps dug into his shoulder painfully. Simon walked briskly, but it wasn't easy going. He was determined to finish a 2-hour job in one. He decided to treat it like a sports event and he jogged with the bag bouncing away on his back. He pushed a newspaper through the letterbox and in time the weight of the bag lessened. He put one paper in Sandy's mouth and she seemed really pleased to be helping him, salivating all over it. The streets were deserted apart from a few stray cats skirting about. Finally, the last paper was posted and they headed home feeling happy and relieved. Simon dropped Sandy off with a biscuit. When he got home, he could hear his dad in the shower. Luckily, he always took a long time, so Simon had time to mop the kitchen floor and take the rubbish out. He was feeling tired and he hadn't got to school yet. He didn't realize that not all boys live like this. If he had, he would have been even more depressed. He was behind on his homework and his school grades were plummeting. He didn't care and neither did his dad. His priority was to keep things shipshape at home. School was a distraction, it got in the way of real life, he often said. He switched on the gas and set to work on the breakfast, the same meal every day, cooked the same way. Simon had half learned to enjoy it. The heat warmed him up and he felt safe in the kitchen. He loved listening to the hot sizzle of the bacon and he was proud of his expertise in opening the eggs perfectly without breaking them. They sat on the plate waiting to be destroyed by an angry knife and fork. Hurry, his dad said in between munching on a biscuit. I'm getting hungry here, he mumbled. Simon laid the tray down next to him and went back to finish his task like a modern-day Cinderella. Within 2 minutes, the plate was clean. Bring me another cup of tea. 3 sugars he managed to spit out, while munching on his favourite digestives. Simon sighed. Does he ever stop eating, he thought. He brought the scalding tea in and watched amazed as he drank it down, quickly as if it was a cold milkshake. He must have insides like corrugated iron, Simon mused.